For over 3 decades, one man ruled the night with charm, wit, and a sparkle that could turn silence into laughter. Johnny Carson. From his legendary stage on The Tonight Show, he made and broke careers with a single interview. But behind that confident grin and smooth delivery, there was a mystery that even his biggest fans never cracked. Who did Johnny Carson truly love having on his couch? Who made the king of late night laugh the hardest, relax the most, or even catch him off guard? Today, we reveal the 10 guests Johnny Carson loved most. And trust me, number 7 will leave you speechless. Johnny Carson's journey began far away from the Hollywood spotlight. He was born on October 23, 1925, in Corning, Iowa, to Homer Lloyd Kit Carson, a power company manager, and Ruth Elizabeth Carson, a homemaker. When he was 8 years old, the family settled in Norfolk, Nebraska, and it was there that Johnny first discovered his passion for entertainment. One afternoon, while visiting a friend, he found a book about magic. That single discovery changed everything. He ordered a magician's kit by mail and practiced non-stop, pestering his family with the words, "Pick a card, any card." His mother even made him a cape. And soon the young boy was performing as the Great Carsoni for small crowds, earning $3 a show. Even then, his timing and charm were unmistakable. After high school, he hitchhiked to Hollywood in pursuit of his dream. But before his career could begin, the world called him to service. When World War II broke out, Carson joined the United States Navy in 1943. He trained at Columbia University and Millsaps College under the Navy's V-12 program before serving aboard the USS Pennsylvania as a communications officer, decoding top-secret messages. He was also a skilled amateur boxer, boasting a 15-1 record. But the moment that truly stayed with him wasn't in the ring. It was when he performed a magic trick for James Forrestal, the Secretary of the Navy. That trick, Carson later said, gave him the confidence to entertain anyone, no matter how powerful or intimidating. After the war, he returned to civilian life using the GI Bill to attend the University of Nebraska. He began studying journalism, but soon switched to speech and drama, drawn to the energy of radio and live performance. His senior thesis was a study on comedy, how humor worked and why people laughed. He graduated in 1949 with a degree in radio and speech, and that same year, his broadcasting career began in Omaha, where his sharp improvisation and quick wit stood out immediately. It wasn't long before Los Angeles called. There, Carson was noticed by comedian Red Skelton, who hired him as a writer. One night, when Skelton was injured just before a live show, Carson stepped in front of the cameras. The audience roared, and a star was born. Soon after, Jack Benny invited him to appear on his own program, helping to cement Johnny's reputation as a rising comic talent. By the late 1950s, Carson was hosting The Johnny Carson Show, and later, Who Do You Trust? The game show where he met his soon-to-be lifelong sidekick, Ed McMahon. Then, in 1962, NBC convinced him to take over The Tonight Show. Johnny Carson was hesitant, but when he finally said yes, television history was rewritten. For the next 30 years, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, became America's nightly ritual. But behind the laughter, not everything was smooth. In 1980, Carson found himself in a feud with Wayne Newton after a failed Aladdin hotel and casino deal. Jokes turned personal, tensions rose, and Newton confronted Carson, revealing Johnny's pride and hidden sensitivity. Yet it wasn't controversy that defined him, it was connection. His real legacy lived in the guests who sat across from him, those rare performers who made Johnny Carson laugh, think, and admire. Among them were a handful he truly loved. One of those was Steve Martin. Wild, unpredictable, and brilliantly absurd, Martin's appearances became legendary. With his mix of stand-up, banjo playing, and chaotic energy, he turned every visit into a spectacle. Carson adored it. Whenever Steve Martin showed up, the atmosphere changed. Viewers knew they were about to witness something unforgettable. It wasn't just laughter Johnny appreciated, it was originality, and Steve Martin brought that in spades. Then there was David Brenner, the quiet genius of observational comedy. While most comedians went for big punchlines, Brenner joked about the little things, traffic jams, aging, family habits, the everyday moments people rarely noticed. Carson loved that subtlety. Brenner appeared over 150 times on The Tonight Show, more than any other guest, and even filled in for Johnny around 70 times as guest host. That level of trust proved that Brenner wasn't just a guest. He was part of Carson's inner circle. Rodney Dangerfield was another favorite. With his trademark line, "I don't get no respect," he became a comedy legend. His self-deprecating humor made audiences howl, and no one laughed harder than Johnny himself. During Rodney's appearances, Carson often broke into uncontrollable laughter, sometimes laughing harder than the studio audience. The chemistry between them was genuine. One man delivering perfect punchlines, the other savoring every one. Then came Bob Hope, the timeless icon of American entertainment. Hope was already a legend before Carson ever stepped onto The Tonight Show stage. Having him as a guest brought prestige to the program, though their relationship was complex. Carson respected Hope's enormous legacy, but found his interviews overly scripted. Still, Johnny handled him with grace. "You can't tell him no," he once remarked, understanding that some legends were simply untouchable. Few guests could match the energy of Don Rickles, the sharp-tongued master of insult comedy. Carson loved him because Rickles brought danger to the stage, controlled chaos that only he could manage. Their friendship was playful and filled with mischief. When Rickles accidentally broke Carson's wooden cigarette box during a guest-hosted episode, Johnny stormed into his neighboring studio the next night, mock-angry, in a scene that became one of television's funniest moments. It showed the trust between them, two men who could turn even a mishap into comedy gold. And then there was Robin Williams. A human tornado of creativity, Robin's appearances were pure electricity. He spoke in dozens of voices, improvised entire scenes, and left Carson doubled over in laughter. Johnny often stopped asking questions altogether, letting Robin run free. Their bond was mutual respect wrapped in chaos. It's no surprise that Carson chose Robin as one of his final guests in 1992. He represented everything Johnny valued in comedy: brilliance, freedom, and heart. Another beloved guest was Tony Randall, the refined actor who brought sophistication and wit to every visit. Appearing over 100 times, Randall could talk opera 1 minute and tell a hilarious story the next. Though he and Johnny barely interacted off-camera, their on-screen chemistry was seamless. Randall's intelligence and timing made him a favorite fixture on the show. Then came Joan Embery, the animal expert who turned the studio into a zoo. Whether it was snakes, birds, or monkeys, Joan's visits were unpredictable and hilarious. In one unforgettable moment, a tiny pygmy marmoset leapt onto Carson's head and marked its territory, live on air. Johnny's shocked reaction became iconic. He loved those moments, the unscripted chaos that reminded everyone that real entertainment wasn't always planned. Frank Sinatra, however, brought a different energy. When Sinatra visited, the jokes slowed and the tone shifted. Carson treated him with reverence. Their interviews weren't about punchlines, but about legacy, music, and life. When Sinatra sang on The Tonight Show in 1976, the atmosphere was electric. Carson listened with the same respect millions of viewers felt. Sinatra's presence wasn't just another booking, it was history unfolding. And then there was Bette Midler, the guest who gave Carson one of his most emotional farewells. On May 21, 1992, the second-to-last episode of The Tonight Show, Bette joined Johnny for an evening that became television legend. Together, they sang "Here's That Rainy Day," and later, Bette performed "One for My Baby" and "One More for the Road." As she sang, Johnny sat quietly, visibly moved. It was a goodbye drenched in emotion, the perfect farewell to a man who had given America 3 decades of laughter. Bette won an Emmy for that performance, but the true magic was the unspoken bond between two artists who respected each other deeply. When Johnny Carson said goodnight for the last time, television changed forever. His laughter, his timing, and his effortless charm became the gold standard for every host who followed. He didn't just interview guests, he created moments that still echo through time. Before there was Fallon or Kimmel, there was Carson, the one and only king of late night. If you loved diving into this story of laughter, rivalry, and legacy, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more untold tales from Hollywood's golden age. Because legends like Johnny Carson never fade. They live on forever. Thanks for watching.